Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here. Excuse me, I got something on my throat there. So anyways, I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos, as you probably guys should already know me at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Ape Escape for the PlayStation 1/PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 due to the forms of digital download versions of these games. So, last time, we've essentially have managed to collect it, not only every single Spectre coins, but also we've captured every single monkeys in the game, including that we did somehow capture Spectre for reals, which allows us to able to actually access to the secret ending. Well, nothing particularly groundbreaking or anything, it's just about the fact that we did somehow deliver him back to the forms of the Monkey Park or something like that. So anyway, so today, this is going to be the final video for Ape Escape, by showing you some extras. So, to start with, as you can tell, that we've already completed every single levels in the game, which sure enough, I will show this off in a moment, because the first thing we want to show off is this particular room over there. But before we get to this though, if you hit into this room right there, basically this allows you to able to actually just go ahead and try out some of these gadgets again. So, basically, it's just about the fact that you can able to practice the actual usage of certain gadgets whatever you wanted to. So either way though, there's not much right to harm about, aside from the fact that we've already used every single gadget in the game by far now. But anyway, so let's get into the main treatment, and that is the minigame corner, where basically, as I said before, that this game does have 3 minigames, and again, in order to able to unlock 3 of these minigames, is that you got able to collect Spectre coins. Like, for instance, the first minigame you do need 10 Spectre coins, and the second game do need to acquire 20 coins, and finally, the third and final game requires you to able to collect 40 Spectre coins. So, but either way though, we'll show this off anyway. So to begin with, let's head into Ski Kids Racing. So, now I believe for every single minigames of this game has to offer, it requires you to able to utilize the analog sticks. Like, usually for the left stick and the right stick as well. So generally speaking, we'll go ahead and start things off with Ski Kids Racing first. Now, as you can see, we have to have a choice between 5 different playable characters. There's Spike, Buzz, Monkey, alongside with the forms of Katie, and the Professor as well. So, relatively speaking though, it's actually a nice addition to able to actually have a multitude of playable characters. Now, I can assure you, in this minigame does have 3 courses, so relatively speaking though, I will try my best to able to actually play well enough for certain minigames, because as far as I'm aware, the minigames themselves aren't really the greatest thing personally, but as a result of that kind of stuff though, for its time though, it's actually quite nice, especially concerning about the fact that luckily it does have multiplayer elements to it, while usually throughout the entire portion of the minigame corner, that this is the only way you can able to play multiplayer in this game, I'm pretty sure anyway, so. But anyways, today's day is of course is the 9th of February today, in this case in 2023 today. Well, again, as far as what Mexi has already mentioned about this, ever since in yesterday's Donkey Kong 64 Let's Play parts, that basically he was originally, myself included, we were originally going to be able to try to mention something more related to the Nintendo Direct recently, but we'll have to able to let Maxi will mention more about it until whenever he goes back onto Donkey Kong 64. Not on this Friday though, because relatively speaking though, at this point in time he's now moved on to his second least favorite world in the game, known as Crystal Caves, so I'm sure that most people already know what exactly he was about to say, so. But as you can tell, I'm not very great at this minigame, as you can tell, because, well, again, this is all new to me, though, so, again, this game encourages you to able to utilize the analog sticks for the majority of the time, just like it evolves with how it does it on the main game itself. So, relatively speaking, though, it's just about the fact that it does take a while to get used to. Like, steering to the left, you have to simply use the left stick, and then obviously if you want to steer to the right, you have to simply use the right analog stick. And if you want able to accelerate or move forward, I'm presuming you do need able to use both sticks at the same time. So, relatively speaking though, again, it does take a while to get used to. So, but at the very least, I came in 3rd at least. So, that's all pretty swell, I have to say so for this point. So, Anyway, so as you can tell, about the fact the matter is though, I'm actually going to be instantly managed to do a magical of editing, because the next character we're going to be selecting on the second course, which appears to be Katie. So, yeah, and for whatever reason about the fact that with every single playable characters in this minigame, feels like a cardboard cutout versions of themselves. Like, I know for a fact that, well, it's hard to explain really, but either way though, that might be saying something, so... Anywho, so, yeah, there are quite a few things I would like to mention about in terms of the forms of not only about the forms of today's discussion, but it's also about the fact that, well, as you probably already know, about the fact that with the PSP remake, does manage to offer us some more minigames. Like, I believe the PSP remake does manage to able to offer us 4 minigames as opposed to 3. Like, for instance, about the fact the matter is though, in the PSP remake, it does feature, like, as I said before, 4 minigames, but some of them are still there, but some of them has been replaced. Like, I don't know about you, because it has been a very long while since I actually discussed upon this, because basically about the fact that I just got a lot of distractions on the forms of multitude of stuff recently, so... Oh, in addition to that though, is the fact that, well, suffice to say, for those of you the bronies who are actually watching this, happy 10th anniversary of the release of Games Ponies Play episode, which is basically, it's more likely like a, the main 6 perspective version of Just for Sidekicks, after when, you know what I mean, about the fact that when Spike needs to be able to take care of the forms of some sidekicks for the main 6 and stuff like that, so... Which I found is quite interesting concept-wise, but relatively speaking, no, I haven't exactly watched that episode that often, probably because, well, I would say the biggest highlight for me, though, for that episode, though, is the forms of how the fact that Rainbow Dash just somehow crashed into the actual, like, the glass dome or something like that, which I found is quite humorous, as well as hilarious at the same time, because it almost kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, when, the Simpsons characters from the likes of the Simpsons movie or something like that also managed able to got smacked into the forms of the glass dome. Well, except the fact that, well, it's pretty difficult to explain because it's been a very, very long time since I actually seen the film. Well, I was expecting if I was trying to get the Blu-ray version to able to experience gorgeous HD and stuff like that, but I think I should probably save that and do it at some point later on throughout the year, so as you can see, we now ended up on the forms of the third and the final course in Ski Kids Racing, because, as you can tell, we're now going to be taking control of Professor, which, originally, I was expecting to be able to try to take control of the monkey, but it turns out about the fact that, well, I've got nothing more to add. And suffice to say, Course 3 is by far the hardest course in this entire minigame, clearly because of the forms of a lot of sharp curves you have to able to consist of trying to able to drift upon, and in addition to that though, it's about the fact that you might bump into walls very easily. Well, I'm not exactly sure of how do I explain this though, but relatively speaking though, I'm just usually trying to show these minigames off. Well, you won't be missing that much though, because thankfully those minigames are not counts for 100% completion, so it's just for just, you know, try those minigames out for the first time, and once you're done with them, then you're probably not gonna touch them. Clearly because about the fact of the way, how weird the controls are in this particular minigames like this. Well, ultimately speaking though, that's as far as I can try to able to describe it, so... And also, during the forms of until specifically next week, not only do we get ourselves the 10th anniversary of the finale episode of Season 3, which is of course Magical Mystery Cure, basically also around the same day that it will be the 12th anniversary of the Maxi Toys coming up next week. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know about this particular upcoming celebration in mind. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, and in addition to that though, it's just about the fact that I'm just, you know, really looking forward to see what's going to be up throughout the entire purpose of the forms of our perspective with our, well, you know what I mean. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm actually doing really rough. So as you can tell, I'm actually now in 5th. So not exactly sure why they didn't seem to be bothered able to give me a bit of a display for that particular time limit thing. But there's also a match race that you can able to actually basically just, I don't know what you would call it. But either way, that pretty much does it for well, Ski Kids Racing. So, yeah, I'm pretty okay at it though, but it's just about the fact that it does take a while to get used to with the controls and all that stuff. But yeah, that's that. So the next minigame we'll show off is the forms of Spectre Boxing. So, it's basically a boxing minigame, basically. However, though, you only need to take control of those specific monkeys, as you can see on screen. And basically, though, all you have to do in this minigame is the fact that you also utilize the analog sticks. And basically, all you have to do, although, first off, there's also the championship mode, and there's training and versus modes. So, either way, though, we can pretty much guarantee we'll... Actually, let's go for Hitman. And, basically, though, all you have to really do in this particular minigame is to knock one of those opponents out. However, though, I'm not exactly sure how do I explain this, because I know for a fact that I'm pretty much used to with Wii Sports boxing and stuff like that, and also at the same time the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games boxing events between the DS version of the original game, as well as the Rio 2016 and even Tokyo 2020, or should I say 2021. That basically, though, is about the fact that I'm pretty much used to those kind of games in boxing events. So, yeah, basically, all you have to do here is about the fact that you need to be able to, like, you know, drain down one of those opponents' health and stuff like that. And I think this goes in, like, 3 rounds or something, even though it's actually very difficult to explain, because either way, though, it's actually my first time experiencing this minigame, so I'm not exactly sure what the heck am I supposed to do. So... either way. So yeah, speaking of minigames though, compared to the forms of the PSP remake, well, you're still able to actually access the forms of not only Ski Kids Racing, but also you can still able to actually access the forms of Spectre Boxing. However though, there's one minigame that was not included on the PSP remake, which I'm sure I'll show that off during a later portion of this video, but basically there are 2 other games that's only exclusive to the PSP remake, which there are, I would say, Ape Ping Pong, which is basically a table tennis version of Ape Escape and stuff like that, or the Ape Escape version of table tennis or something, and there's also Jake Attacks, so not exactly sure how that's going to be presented in for, but I'm guessing it's like, well, despite the fact that I haven't exactly completed everything in terms of the PSP remake so far, just because about the fact that I'm still struggling to able to actually get used to with the controls in that version, just because, wow, I actually have to admit though, I'm still really enjoying the PlayStation 1 version a lot more, just because of how unique the control scheme is for that particular game. So, anywho though, so again, there's not much else you can talk about, aside from the fact that I was also originally trying to say that I was expecting to try to mention something more about the forms of, well, remember how Maxi has briefly mentioned about during the course of certain game sales records for the Nintendo Switch right now, but I think he'll also save that conversation until when he goes on to Donkey Kong 64 or something, so... But either way though, we'll just have to wait and find out, and during at some point, possibly for next Monday or something like that, but either way though, we shall see what happens in due time, so... But yeah, I'm not very great at this though, especially because I was gonna try my best able to actually punch his face, but then I found out that it's actually kind of weird to able to actually get the actual movements right, so... Now I believe something tells me about the fact that once you're able to keep on winning in Spectre Boxing, I believe you do able to have the chance that you will able to face off against with the final opponent if you manage to do well enough in the championship mode that basically you face off against with Spectre himself. So yeah, it's actually pretty swell, I have to say. Now I believe in each and every single round goes by for about a minute, well technically for 60 seconds, because somehow the timer just somehow managed able to count upwards, so I get a strong feeling I might able to win this for sure, which I did. But I highly doubt on the second opponents that we face off against, well, I can assure you I'm also able to just lose on this, because eventually at some form or another, it's the fact that the actual computer players is actually going to get a lot more aggressively hard, so relatively speaking, I don't know if I can able to actually beat this guy, in this case, Duff, like Duff Beer or something like that, which, kind of think about it, it does have the exact same name for it. Anyway. So, yeah, there's not much else to point things out. Although, aside from the fact that, well, I've already mentioned about this briefly, that the PSP remake does offer us 2 exclusive minigames. Well, you're still able to actually access the forms of, you know, Ski Kids Racing only requires 10 Spectre coins, and then I believe Spectre Boxing is going to be 20 Spectre coins to collect. Now, as far as Ping Pong, or is it Ape Ping Pong? I wasn't paying attention. Well, mind you, because I was trying to focus on here, but highly doubt I might lose, because as you can tell, I just got my butt kicked, because, well, obviously he keeps on dodging a lot of stuff, you see. Okay, so Ape Ping Pong, I think you do need to get about 30 Spectre coins. So, and as far as Jake attacks, as far as I'm concerned, I believe you do need about 40 of those Spectre coins. Well, you don't necessarily need to get every single Spectre coins, aside from the actual completion percentage mark. But either way, though, that's as far as I can try to explain about the forms of that particular minigame unlockable requirement. Oh, in order to get back up, you need to rotate the actual analog sticks, which I'm probably not going to be able to make things a bit too long from this point, so we'll just get ourselves the actual KO, so oh well, at least I tried, especially because, well, it's just the controls might feel a bit too weird in this minigame, so well, thankfully, it's sort of where he gets the last minigame in this game. Basically, though, I will say, out of all the actual minigames in Ape Escape 1, the last one is by far my favorite. Not just because of how simple it is to do, but it's also about the fact that it does kind of reminds me like the Pac-Man World King Galaxian boss fight in the actual Space World, or Space Land, wherever. So, anyway, so here we go, on to the forms of Galaxy Monkey, which, I can assure you, this is the only minigame that was not included in the forms of the PSP remake, because, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure it's because of the control limitations or something, so yeah, I can assure you for this point. So, yeah, basically in this minigame right here is the fact that you need to use the left stick to able to move around, and using the right analog stick to able to shoot any directions. So, pretty interesting all things considered when it comes to this particular control scheme. So, yeah, pretty swell I have to say. That, as I said before, this one is by far the best minigame to me though, just because you're able to shoot stuff, and also the controls in this particular minigame is actually pretty simple to get accustomed to, especially because obviously you're going to be shooting stuff in outer space, and once you collect too many of those P power-ups, basically though you will able to actually shoot even more blast radius during the forms of that particular portions by itself or something. So again, I do apologize if my commentary is a little bit slightly iffy at this point today, because, well, at this point in time, we've basically guaranteed that we've almost done with this game, basically, at this point right now. Well, mind you, there's technically the last thing I want to show off, but I'll save that up until whenever we, you know, showing off every single minigames of this game has to offer. Well, unless if you really want to able to get the 100% completion, then by all means you might as well able to be up for it. Well, mind you about the fact I haven't exactly mentioned about that during the course of quite a few days now. Oh yeah, and also something I would like to mention is that apparently though, in during forms of the Nintendo website, well, usually I'm referring to as the Americans website right now, that basically, for some odd reason, that the actual price tag for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is actually being confirmed for the Nintendo official website in the Americans website, that the price tag is so ridiculous. Like, it did somehow get up to like $70, which, gee, it's actually way too overpriced, which I get it because the game is going to be super massive as it is, but unfortunately though, the UK version doesn't seem to, well, at least by that time, after this particular video is actually uploaded, I'm pretty sure the actual, the price tag might actually be also be extremely expensive or something. Well, I can assure you, for the most of the forms of those first-party, Nintendo titles always seems to able to bring out, in terms of digital versions, they always attempt to bring out like £50 for most of those games. Some exceptions here and there, like for instance Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is still on 60 quid right now on the forms of the digital version of the game. So, because again, it's actually going to get really pricey these days. So, especially nothing compares to the forms of, at the moment right now, for the PlayStation 5 stuff, that basically the prices are super ridiculous. Oh, in addition to that, the digital version of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is 60 quid in digital version, which that makes me why that I'm very still appreciate that I've managed able to still got myself the physical version of the game, not only because I really love the game's cover art, but also about the fact that I can just manage able to just save some bit of cash, and especially noticeable to save up some of these gigabyte storages from my Nintendo Switch. So, oh yeah, speaking of the Nintendo Switch though, about that time until next month, that the Nintendo Switch is going to be officially become 6 years old until next month. So, yeah, time flies, you know, especially after the events of 2017. Well, I will say that in the beginning portion of the Nintendo Switch's lifespan was actually very strong. Like 2017, 2018, and 2019, apart from a couple of exceptions, which are 2020. Well, at least 2020 is just a miserable year to begin with. Although for 2021, thankfully, it's actually a lot more improvement. And in 2022, I felt a bit mixed bag in my opinion, although it does have some very good software as far as I'm aware. But let's just see what really happens during in 2023 and onwards. But again, we probably will save that conversation until specifically when Maxi were able to get back onto Donkey Kong 64, like I said before, just because I'm afraid to tell you that he hasn't got anything else to mention. Well, aside from the fact that there are some couple of bits he did somehow mention about, but either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, but as you can see about the fact that with Galaxy Monkey, as you can tell, that basically though you do have a life system, so every time you get hit by a certain enemy encounters, basically though you lose 1 life. However, if you lose both lives, basically you go all the way back to the beginning. And also as you can tell, we actually tried out a different mode during the forms of that particular Galaxy Monkey mode, where basically though is about the fact that, well, as you can tell, we do have a time limit. So basically, that we only got about 3 minutes in order able to actually just to keep on shooting the exactly the same enemies as before, except the fact that, well, obviously it's a time limit based. So, relatively speaking though, yeah, it's a pretty cool minigame to able to show this off, especially that, well, assuming if I was trying to get myself the high score, well, I was originally trying to able to get myself the greatest high score in the actual main mode in Galaxy Monkey, but then I found out that I just keep on getting hit by several enemy encounters sometimes, so, oh well, no big deal, but at least I'm just, you know, showing you guys this, so that's all I can really ask for, so. But yeah, that's as far as I can try to describe about the forms of the minigames in this game. Although, as I said before, my favorite minigame in this entire game is obviously this minigame right here, Galaxy Monkey. It's a shame that this minigame does not include it on the PSP remake, which I get it because of the control limitations, or perhaps even maybe because it was quite hard to emulate, or just anything else for that matter. So yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. And I believe if the time runs out, then I'm pretty sure that you're basically done with that run, so yeah, not much else to add. So, but again, there's also 2-player mode in this, so you can potentially try to able to let your partner just work together to able to take down most of those enemies, as you can see. But as far as the Spectre boxing is concerned, well, basically that is about the fact that you can able to take down one of your opponents, and basically you can able to become an actual boxing player, or something like that. So, anyway, time's up, so potentially speaking though, we got game over. But, who cares about that, because, well, we simply got ourselves a greatest high score. Well, it's nothing groundbreaking, but, oh, you're able to actually also get additional points, that if you managed able to save up some more extra lives, in addition to that, how far you got into the actual level progressioning. So yeah, that's actually pretty swell. So yeah, that's as far as I can talk about for the Galaxy Monkey mode. Pretty cool though. So I suppose the next thing we can show off before we show off the final thing for Ape Escape, which is of course the time attack mode, which I was expecting to be able to do all those stages again, but the thing is though, I think I just want to move on to the next game, specifically Ape Escape 2, which we're not exactly sure when that's going to happen, but either way though, because it's kind of hard to tell by that point. So anyways, let's get in here. And basically, it was just about the fact the matter is, though, as you can tell, that we've already managed able to see the monkey book. So as you can tell, I actually got 213 monkeys captured. So basically, you can actually have a look at the forms of the actual profiles for certain monkeys you've captured. And also it tells you what the levels they are, and also certain names. And I think, depending on what region you lived in, basically, in the European version or the American version, they do have their different names. And also in addition to that, as you can tell on the bottom portion of the screen, that it actually shows us the actual personality quotes, like Happy here, and especially noticeable with the forms of Longest Hand Stance, and as well as Dinosaur Egg Hunter for Joe Young. That was actually a reference to one of those Disney movies, I see. Well, almost anyway, except it doesn't show us Mighty's name on here. Oh wow, Spy. Clumsy. Oh! a Homer Simpson's famous quote. So, and also it shows you the forms of the actual status of speed, attack, and alert system with all that, you know, the monkeys you do certainly captured. So, yeah, basically it's just a nice little tribute to able to actually see certain you know, things itself in mind. So, either way though, and also as you can see on these little star icons, they did say get the apes, or get all apes. I can't really tell, but I'm guessing it calls it get the apes. So basically what that means, you basically captured every single monkeys in any of the levels. So yeah, there are quite a lot in this game. Although, until when it gets to the point until Ape Escape 2 and Ape Escape 3, well, I can assure you the amount of monkeys we can potentially try to capture is going to be a lot more expansive. So, but as far as the PSP remake, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure they do have the exact same amount of monkeys, I'm pretty sure. So, aside from the fact that, did this say Bad Fur Day? Oh gee, that could be before when Conker's Bad Fur Day does exist on the Nintendo 64, huh? Well, despite the fact that Conker's Bad Fur Day didn't sell well just because of all that commercial flop, and in addition to that though, it's more likely targeted towards adult humor, or to be more specifically, an 18-year-old gamers, because as far as I'm aware, that you probably already know what to expect, aside from the fact that, well, most kids will not play the game anyway, because, you know, it does have a lot of mature stuff, so makes it an obvious choice. So, Pillow can't sleep, and he'll be back, lies a little, white, so, yeah, that's as far as I can talk about, but, because, well, I've got nothing more to add. So, anywho, so, hopefully by that time though, until specifically, you know, next Thursday, we will try to do something to able to celebrate our 12th anniversary of the Maxi Toys coming up. But I can't tell you guys what we're about to do. But either way, those you have to stay tuned for that. So, and also that recently about the fact the matter is though, Cap King 74, that he's now finished up with Chapter 1 in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Well, usually relatively speaking, he's actually having a rough time when it comes to likely having recording session issues recently, for what I've heard. Just because about the fact that every time when he goes into capture mode, it did for whatever reason go into no signal mode, which I have the same issues in the past. But it's been sorted for the most part, but I'm just really hoping that my capture card doesn't get extremely glitchy with all that, you know, tons of random square bits just somehow showed up out of nowhere. And in addition to that though, it's just about the fact that, well, at least potentially speaking though, I still managed to get my Roxo Game Capture HD Pro, and it still works quite well. Well, despite it's a bit outdated compared to the forms of how it does it on any other capture cards now, but something tells me that he did send me a message on my phone that did say about the fact that he recently got a different capture card, which is Elgato or Elgato Game Capture HD. But yeah, I honestly have no idea why he managed to got that. Well, I'm guessing it's because since there's the second capture card, or technically speaking, oh jeez, my phone is actually gonna get. Oh wow, it did say PAL? Huh. Okay then. So, anywho, yeah, I apologize for that commentary earlier, because I think I'm almost gonna get my dry throat. So, I'll try to be quick as fast as I can. So, Flea, okay, Coda, and Owain, and also Belly. Okay, that's, something. Is that CD? Huh, kind of an interesting name. Mom? Bossy. Okay then, that's pretty something, I suppose. Elvis the King. Gee, certain names are pretty something. Because that's the thing I loved about the Formslow's Ape Escape games, is that they do have some very interesting name choices depending on what regions you lived in. So generally speaking though, wow, Harry, even for apes. Rodden has no answers. And Prince wants more freedom. Bowie, let's dance. And Par likes golf. Oh yeah, because Par with, you know, one of those score tallies. So, Flock, amazing hair. Geyser likes a pie. Ginger, okay. Robin and Posh. Gorilla has strong arms. Anyway, I've got distracted by the forms of some weird names they obviously included on here. So, yeah, because anyway, as I was saying, that technically speaking though, it was his third capture card he's ever got. That's because I do remember back in the day, in oh, let's say in 2011 or something, or is it 2012? I'm guessing it's 2011 specifically, that he first able to actually got the first capture card on its own, which is to be more specifically the Dazzle capture card, which despite it's outdated right now, but looking back on it though, it's actually alright. And later on though, in 2013 if I recall, or 14, that he eventually got the Easy Cap capture card as well. And then later on, I would say in 2017 or something, basically though he got the Roxo Game Capture HD Pro, and now in 2023, he now got himself his fourth capture card device. So, because, well, I'm still using my second capture card I've owned, although I was originally trying to get myself the 3DS capture device, but it's actually too expensive right now, so I think I should probably save my cash up and doing at some point for getting some more titles eventually for any forms of 2023 and beyond. So, but either way, oh, in addition to that, only specifically 2 months left now until the Super Mario Bros. Movie is gonna be slowly approaching on not only United Kingdom's release, but also with the forms of the American version as well. So, yeah, that might be saying something, so yeah, I suppose that's pretty much all this is when it comes to the Monkey Book. That's basically though, geez, looks like the actual status is actually gonna get, well, a lot more aggressive, especially when you look up on different names. Ice Ice, can't stand the heat. And he plays piano apparently. English, likes, I don't know what you call it. Okay. Chip Buddy. Okay. Guy loves fireworks. Tiny, from a small town. And Ralphie, art teacher. And Woopa, fast food fan. And that was it. That's quite a lot of monkeys, like I said before. So anyways, that's it for the monkey book that we showed off. But now let's go ahead and show off the final thing for this particular playthrough, as I promised you guys. And that's what appears to be the time attack mode. So, every time when you do manage to able to go into any of those levels, any revisited levels, whatever you want to go to, basically, as you can tell, there is actually the best time icon shows up. And basically what this means is that if you try to press a different button, to be more specifically the start button, well, let's just say, for example, in Ancient Plane, basically, as you see, the press start button is actually being accessed, and basically what you can do in here is the fact that we need to capture every single monkeys in the entire stage. And basically, as you can tell, we got ourselves the medal system. Well, basically, if you manage to beat the actual level in the fastest humanly possible, basically you can get one of those 3 medals. There is the gold medal, the silver medal, and the bronze medal. So, yeah, you have to be fast on this though, because just like the forms of how it does it on not only Sapphire Relics in Crash Bandicoot, similar to Crash Bandicoot, that basically every time you collect those triangular objects, basically though, you're able to stop time for a little bit. So, pretty handy though, if you really want to beat the fast time as humanly possible. Well, despite the fact that I'm not very great at time attacks to begin with, but I will try my best able to actually aim for the bronze medal or something like that. Although the best results is being the gold medal for sure, but relatively speaking though, it's just about the fact that you simply need to beat the fastest time in order to able to get 100% completion. So, again, it's very similar to Crash Bandicoot, except the fact that, well, relatively speaking though, you simply have to make your way from point A to point B, whilst in here though, you have to capture every single monkeys in the entire stage. So once you're done with that, then Katie will tell you the forms of what time did you beat the level, and it gives you a medal in the process. So, but again, it does kind of reminds me of those Sapphire Relics, Gold Relics, and even a Platinum Relics in Crash Bandicoot games. So,
that was so-so.
Yeah, it tells me the actual results, so, and also the actual different quotes, depending on how well you did in the actual level, so, and thankfully it doesn't take you all the way back to the lab, so you can just simply choose another stage if you want to do so. But again, I'm probably not going to do it right now, just because I might as well do this on my own time, so, and there you go folks, that pretty much does it for our Let's Play of Ape Escape for the PlayStation/PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this game, and like I said, you should probably definitely recommend getting this game on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 nowadays, because, you know, both of those games are digital. So, anyway, so this is me, Sonic the Hedgehog, from the likes of the Maxi Toys. Now, I suppose, up next, in terms of our Ape Escape retrospective of Let's Plays in mind, up next it will be, is something feels like a between Ape Escape P or On the Loose, or Ape Escape 2. Let me know in the comments down below if which one of those two you wanted me to tackle next. So, catch you guys later. Gotta go fast. See you then.